Welcome back to Satisfactory. My name is Nilaus and I am bringing to you today a video on how to build an effective drone network, because as you see, my base here it's getting pretty big and pretty exhaustive all over, spanning quite a big area. We've unlocked pretty much anything and everything we want, and one of the late game options for transport is to build a drone network. So as we're making our way towards the first train station, where I'll be talking about sort of one of the prerequisites, then let's talk a bit about when this is good to build a drone network. Well, it's very late game, so you're gonna have to have, as you can see, trucks, belts, trains, and then later on transition into drones. But drones for me is the preferred late game option. You can see out here I have several drone ports running around, factories with drone integration. And it's not necessarily that I always want to do it, but it works great for a clustered factory like this that is sort of in the same neighborhood where they can kind of see each other, so the travel distances are not sort of across the map. It also works great for low quantity items, and that means stuff like fused modular frames, turbo motors, that kind of thing. So you don't maybe want to fill up an entire train with turbo motors, but you know, filling up a drone going back and forth, it seems a bit more reasonable. Now we're coming up on the first thing, because that's the first prerequisite. You can see this gigantic factory. This is the prerequisite for even getting started on building trains, or on building this. I will just stop my train and we can jump out. So what do we have here? This is a battery factory. You can see here I am building classic batteries. And how many are we building? This factory consists of 20 modules like this, and each module is producing 30 per minute, so that is 600 batteries per minute is what I'm doing. That is hopefully overdoing it. It actually is. It seems quite likely that this is overdoing it, but it is definitely needed. And I would say that don't even get started on a drone network if you want to sort of have it as your main mode of transportation, unless you have at least 300 per minute. So build something gigantic such as this in order to feed your drones into the build. And what you need to do with this is you need to make just a single little location, a single drone port, and that's the one we're going to look at over here, this drone port. And there's a little buffer here before where we store some extra batteries, and you have a drone port here that says batteries dev please fix, because there's a problem with it. We'll get into that a bit later. But this means now I have made my drones available for other drones in the network. Let's talk a bit about the principles. And in order to show the principles of what I want, then I want to go to my biggest drone factory. That's the one you can see over here. So let's jump over there and have a look at how that works. So we have arrived here at this factory. This is the phase 4 factory, and kind of very, very late game, and we build a lot of drone ports. But before we sort of dive into the actual configuration of them, then let's start with talking about the principles, because in all my designs of systems, networks, there has to be some principles to which we adhere. In our example, there are only two types of, on this network, there are only two types of drone ports. They will be classified as passive providers and active requesters. Yes, they are sort of leaning on factorial terms, and we're going to start by looking at a passive provider. This is a passive provider. It is a drone port. It is of course powered. It is called into the name of whatever it is providing. It only has stuff in the outgoing. And this one is providing the copper powder, and this is providing copper ingots. I don't really get why oh right, I know it. I did something silly there. That's long ago. We don't mind. So here on we're only doing this on outbound, and that means what you can see is also there is no drone attached. There's no drone here, and this one is not connected to any other thing. Now, what does this mean? This means that if you will build at any factory anywhere, all you need to do is set up a drone port and then make it into a passive provider. Passive because there's no drones, there are no batteries, there are no connection to other parts. This one is just here so that anyone who wants some copper powder can come in and get the copper powder. The reason why I'm doing it that way is, well, it's actually many reasons, but the primary one is it's going to be super simple whenever you build a factory. You don't need to request drones, you don't need to request batteries at all in order to get anything inbound. You simply have to just set up a drone port and then put some stuff in there and then move on to the next factory, which makes it super nice that you don't need to distribute batteries all over the place. Now that's the passive providers, then let's look at the active requesters. These are all active requesters, and we're going to start with the one that I would say is the most important one. We're even going to build a stop here. Yes. So this one is called phase 4 because that's the name of the factory, and then I call the item that it's requesting. Likewise here, phase 4 is the name of the factory, and then electromagnetic control rods. Yeah, electro rods. And what this one will do is every time you build a factory, you are going to have a number of drone ports. You will always have one that requests request batteries. This is the one, requesting batteries, that's one. Then you will have one for every item you need to request from the network. You can see here. And then you will have one for the output of the factory. In this case, I don't have output because I'm just putting it in here. But that was what we were seeing. So basically, you will, if you have an item that says, let's say supercomputer, for example, here, then you will have one for requesting batteries, then you will have one for computers, one for AI limiters, one for high-speed connectors, and one for plastic, and then an extra one for output of supercomputers. So the supercomputer factory will have 6 drone ports in order to set up the way that I've done it. Now let's start by sending you out, my friend, and this one will then be set to, I want to show you why here's a problem. You select the battery, and then it does not display all of them. So that's why I'm saying dev please fix. It's kind of stupid when you do a search and it doesn't show all of them, and you can't show all of them. But what I've now done is I have set this one up here. This one will be going out eventually and going to pick up some batteries. Now that those batteries will come out here, and the first thing I always do is set a line that runs in parallel at this location and then feeds batteries back into itself. Now, one thing that is extremely important to mention when you're building a factory, not like this one, how do you get the first drone to fly out? Because you don't have any batteries anywhere. That's why always keep some batteries in your inventory so that you can get the first drone to fly out to pick up batteries. And as soon as that comes back, then it will start distributing batteries. Now, of course, I have some to all the rest of them. And all you need to do at this point is go to each one, and then go to electro rod there, and that will go out. We are going to watch all of this come in, and this is framework, versatile framework. There we go. And I'll set all of these up so we can get those going adaptive. And they, as you can see here, they are getting the batteries in, and we'll just see all of these going out here. Super computer, there we go. Apparently that's in one word in this game. Apparently. And we get the fused. And all of these should hopefully have something that we can request. And some of them are really far away. This one is the furthest away. That's actually the factory you can see right at the cursor here. And the tower is complete. Now, if while I'm doing this, if you are thinking that's a pretty cool base, can we see more of it? Yes, you can. I'm streaming this for a little while longer over on Twitch. It is on, let me see, Modular Engine, that's the one. It's on Tuesday, Thursdays, and Sundays. And of course, if you want to see more on this, then just let me know what. Oh, conversion? What is it called? Conversion. Just spell, damn it. Yeah, conversion cube. It's called companion cube, all right? And this one's called copper powder. Is this correct? Companion cube, yes. So you can see all of these drones are now flying out, and they will gradually come back and bring back stuff for us so we can start, or we can continue on the construction here. We have the 4 factories that go into the elevator for space parts number 4, space elevator parts number 4. Here we go. This is our return. So if you want to see more, then let me know what you'd like to see. Maybe a base tour, maybe some other advanced things. I have a setup for how I do the train network. I have several of my factories are already there, like my plastic rubber tower, my turbo motor. They're already existing here. And here we go. We can see now all of the batteries are being distributed, and in the startup case, that would be the indicator for them to start flying out. But of course, this is not the first time I'm hooking this one up. We should just try to see if we can get some of the first ones coming back so we can see just a joyous moment when we get new drones coming back. And here come the drones. The first drones are coming in. You can see they are coming in and landing, and it's looking absolutely amazing. What I can do is I have a specific way that I'm always doing this this build, And first I have all of the drone ports on one side. Then I have this location. Now, what exactly is this location? If I just show you out here so that you can build it yourself. This location is not on the edge and not fully inside. It is one off the edge. If you build it one off the edge, then the conveyor lift will smoothly connect directly between the two. So I always make that that difference here, or that the distance, and then I bring out all the other materials. For example, here now we're seeing a lot of electromagnetic control rods going in here to start the construction of this build. We are getting that in. It goes in the middle of the next tile here, and that will be always where I distribute, and then it goes into some builds which are perpendicular to these builds. And that is a pretty cool way of doing it. Very simple and very repeatable. Here we have the next things. What is it actually we're getting in here? Oh yeah, adaptive controllers. You can see that some of them are not really coming in at the rates that we'd like them to go. Supercomputers also only 120, but you know, it's getting there. What was it you're building here? That's the assembly director system that still has 1500 to go. So that's 1500 more supercomputers coming up. All the other things here, we have the fused modular frames, all that good stuff. Now this is becoming more of a design of this one, but that's not really what we intended. As you can see, things are working absolutely amazing. It has the advantage that since we have the drone stuck here, then when we get to, maybe we can see that right now over here by the batteries. That's exactly what I want to show you. The idle situation for this network is when this comes in with drones and they can't be unloaded, all of it. So you can see they're gradually being consumed, and that's all fine. And when this one finally is exporting, come on. Oh, it was able to put all of it in. Oh, okay. Really? Okay, so it was able to, but when it gets to the point where when it puts things in here, it can't go there. Then it'll be stuck at the loading location until it has loaded everything, which is exactly what I want. I want it to be stuck at the loading location, because with this setup of active requesters, passive providers, I will potentially have multiple drones requesting from the same location, like plastic, rubber, that kind of thing, copper ingots. I can have multiple requesting, so I don't want them to be stuck at the pickup location. They will go there, pick up whatever's there, and come back. And then they will sort of not go back and forth if they get into a position where they cannot unload whatever they're bringing in. And that's what we really want to do, because we don't want to have the drones flying back and forth. If we look at this, 4 stacks per minute, 4 stacks per minute. Oh, sorry, that's transfer rate. 3 batteries per minute and 2.5 batteries per minute. What do we have here? 2.75. Let's take the cooling system. That's probably the one that has the longest travel distance. This one. It is 3.7%. So in this case, what do I have? I have 11, and they're probably going to consume 3 per minute each. So this one is 33 batteries per minute being consumed at this location. That's quite a lot. It does add up. And I have, as you can see, many different locations here. There's all of that. A lot of the factories all the way up there, they have a supercomputer factory all the way up there. So I have a lot of drone factories, and that's kind of how I prefer to do things in the late game, because all it needs is you don't need to build the train infrastructure, the truck infrastructure, the belt infrastructure. You simply need to put on the drones and make sure that you have enough batteries. So the price is in terms of batteries, and also of course 100 megawatt each. So it does take quite a bit of power to operate the whole thing. We are producing 40 gigawatt of power, and we are consuming 36. So it does consume a lot of power, a lot of batteries, but if you do that, you get the benefit of not having to build a lot of infrastructure, and simply can move everything around with drones moving forward. And that's super amazing. And it also looks cool with the drones flying around in the base. I think so. So I hope that was useful in showing this. And as you can see, drones will just keep coming in. I think that the one at the end here is the batteries, and that will then get into that steady state position that I highlighted. What do we have here? We have I can't even see what that one is. Oh, this one's bringing in 3 turbo motors. Yeah, that's probably not a lot of turbo motors, so it's kind of running out here. That's what we expect as we feed this massive factory and to feed the end game goal of the phase 4 factory. Anyway, if you have enjoyed it, if you found it useful, then be sure to hit the like button. Of course, if you want to watch more factory content of various sorts here on the channel, then consider subscribing to the channel. You can also come on over and join me on Twitch. I'm streaming most evenings at 8 p.m. Central European time. It is on Twitch TV/Nilaus, and it would be awesome if you drop by and said hi. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you guys around. Take care, and as always, stay effective.